week 6 of training and I've not been out all week. I've been out. So it's 5K Friday. So the good thing is that I have to hold myself accountable on 5K Friday because it's something that I do on Instagram, and so I announce it, so I have to be there. Thank God for that, or else I don't think I'd be going out in this. How miserable it is outside. So, not a good week of training. So it's been a terrible week for training this week on week 6. I've been out once and did a 5K Friday, and that's it. But I'm not going to be hard on myself. I am, however, going to research into my macro counting. I'm going to bring in a personal trainer friend of mine who swears by macro counting to make sure you're getting the right fats, carbohydrates and protein in your diet. So when you're training for a big challenge, you are keeping your energy levels up.
Macros are such a brilliant way of doing it because you're not depriving yourself of anything. It's just allowing yourself to have the right balance. Like I said, I reckon you're not eating enough.
Do you think? Because I feel like my portions I feel like are quite big. Like I pile stuff on the plate. But yeah, I feel like I'm always hungry. I'm always looking for something to eat.
I reckon, I mean, when I look at your food diary after a few days, obviously I'll get a much better picture of what you're at. But I reckon you're not eating enough and probably not having enough protein. I mean, it's hard because, like I said to you briefly before, it's a bit of trial and error initially because everybody's so different. I can't say these numbers, do that will definitely work for you. I can give you numbers and try it, and then it might need tweaking after you've tried it.
Yeah.
But it will be a good baseline or a good goal to aim towards to get as close to those. Because like I said, I reckon you're well under, especially when you're running and doing so much activity.
But even without doing this challenge, when we were doing the Workout Wednesdays and the short plan and all of that, by Wednesday afternoon, I was broken. Wednesday, Thursday, I'm really hitting a brick wall. I'm so tired. And so I therefore know there's something within my diet that I'm probably lacking.
Like I use this cake analogy. If you were going to make a cake, you wanted the perfect sponge cake, you have to have the right amount of each ingredient to make the cake. You wouldn't go, I haven't got flour today, so let's just put 3 more eggs in.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't get a cake. So if we want to run and be perfectly balanced, we need the right amount of macronutrient. Otherwise, you can't go, well, I haven't got any protein, so let's just have double the amount of carbs. Because your muscles are going to be like, help, please.
Yeah.
So you need to find the right balance. So then you're like the perfect sponge cake. And I think lots of people are used to looking at calories and just taking a calorie total, which is fine. But if you don't know how you're filling those calories.
Well, actually, it's quite fascinating because I'm not going under my calories. I probably am hitting them or going over because there is no physical change in my body, which is not what the goal's about. It's about my fatigue levels. I'm not concerned about having a smaller waistline. I just want to know where this energy is dipping. And I think it's because that balance isn't right. And maybe I'm looking at the calories and I'm going, well, it's not, I shouldn't be looking at that. It is the balance.
But that's also really clever marketing. And these companies have had billions spent on their marketing, and they know that if they put low calorie or low fat or whatever, that people think that they're doing the right thing. Whereas just bypass calories and look at macros, because then you know where the balance is.
It doesn't mean you can't fill your boots as long as you
No, absolutely not. I've got clients at the moment that I'm saying you need to eat more.
Right.
And others going like, I've never had plates of food like this. And I mean, the clients that I've got, generally, they want to lose fat and tone up a bit.
Yeah. And it's ultimately down to what we're fueling ourselves with.
Yeah. If you're getting the right sleep and you're doing the other things to mitigate stress and all that kind of stuff, but you haven't really looked too much into the balance of what you're eating, then that will be the last piece of the puzzle.
So after my conversation with Jo, I'm really excited to start taking control of exactly what right combinations of food I am getting to fuel myself. I know it's going to be trial and error, but I'm hoping that in a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, I'm going to really start noticing a difference. Let's see what happens. I'll keep you updated.